Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of Rural Contractors. I'm your host, Paul Osmondson, and today's episode is Book Your Jobs in the Winter. Doing work in the Midwest where the ground freezes, and it's just not that fun doing work outside. I enjoy the exterior building. I would rather do that even in the winter than go inside and do bathroom remodels. I would rather swallow a bullet. I just do not enjoy the tedious stuff. Maybe you guys do. Good for you. There's a few more bathrooms for you to do because I am not willing to do them. So this idea of book your jobs in the winter. So my goal was to make enough money that I could pay my team even on those bad, crappy days. That it was like, we're just going to pick our days and we're going to do what we can when we can, and we're just not going to be quite as productive in the wintertime. And that's just the phase that we went through. So my goal was to book as many jobs as I could in the wintertime because I noticed a pattern. And the pattern was that in the summertime, when people got busy doing what they were doing, my phone didn't ring. Like, I didn't get as many leads in the summertime as I did in the fall. When winter was coming and snow was coming, people were like, hey, I want to do this project, this project, this project. And it's like, we're already booked up. But I continued to follow up process with these people to get them on the books for next year. Just during the winter, finalizing their plans, getting down payments, lock them onto my books. So my pattern was we were so busy in the fall that it carried over into spring because we couldn't get all those jobs done. But then continuing to stack that up. My goal was to work on my marketing and to stack those jobs up that I could be 6 to 9 months booked out before we really started going in the spring. It seemed like middle of March, ground was starting to unthaw enough that we could start drilling holes for post frame, and we'd start doing our post frames. Well, the concrete guys are getting some of those other projects done so that we could do those midsummer. And then you constantly had this flow of people coming in. But I noticed that most of my leads came in the fall and late winter or early winter, and just stacking those jobs. So working on my marketing, we were trying to collect as much content as we could through the summer, taking pictures of buildings. But then really I had a little bit more time on those crappy days where I could build out some of those things, keep flowing. I would do a better job on my marketing in the winter time and stack that job up. Now, if you guys are from down south and you don't have this problem, jealous. But you guys probably have to face the heat and the snakes and all that other stuff. So just realize your phases, look at your phases and go, hey, when does the bulk of my work come in? But then focus on how you can trap that work for next year. You know, if you're in this mindset where it's like, nope, we're booked, can't help you, and move on, you're not thinking about the next year and stacking that work in front of your team. I understand, that's part of my questions was, hey, I'm sorry, we're booked out 6 months. Is that a deal breaker for you? A lot of times they would say that's not a deal breaker, so we could move into starting their process. But if it was a deal breaker for them, it's like, hey, yeah, you go see if you can find somebody else. If you can't find somebody else, follow up with me. But honestly, I would follow up with them. I would put that into my CRM and I would follow up with them in a month or 2 months to say, hey, did you get on somebody's books? If they didn't, boo, it gave me a shoe in, and it really goes into their psyche and goes, hey, he remembered that I wanted to be on this time frame, but I'm not in a position to jump people ahead in my timeline. I mean, we have a timeline that we've been working on for 3, 6, 9 months, and we can't just jump somebody ahead of the other unless something comes up where they don't have concrete in or something like that. There's always those things that come up. Thinking about how I could create a way to swing those jobs that we didn't have time for in the winter or the fall into spring, and just focusing on that to stack that work up. Work on your marketing. These are just some things that I did in the winter time to create an awesome workflow. So continue to have good communication, follow up, but then just keep remembering to, if you can swing that work to spring instead of just turning it away, but book it. Get as much lined up as you can. Get as much as your organization done as you can in the wintertime to make it easier and to just give you that confidence that, hey, I got 3, 6, 9 months of work lined up. Is an awesome place to be. Hope this episode was valuable, and we'll catch you on the next one.